your curiosity right.
Mad Bricks webcast,
Where the human spirit flies. Mad Bricks webcast, where the human spirit flies.
Hey, welcome to the Medbix Upcast. This is Ramana Annamaraju. I'm the host. I'm joining from Silicon Valley. So, today is my background always changes several things, million reasons, frustrating sometimes. But anyway, I want to talk about a little bit about my journey I'm developing a platform. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Medbix Predictor platform, a platform that is AI. If you implement AI, whether it's going to be the produces the efficiency in care, the quantity of care. So through physics and the system engineering and mathematics, produced a very great, robust platform. It can tell you where and when you can put AI. But anyway, before let me talk about all those things, let me introduce my co-host, Susan Davis. Dr. Susan Davis is Doctor of Nursing Practice. She's joining from Fort Myers, Florida. Welcome, Susan. Welcome,
Hi,
welcome.
Ramona. Good evening. You truly are a nomad. Your background does change. It seems almost weekly these days.
Yeah, what can I say?
It's
So,
good. It's good.
yeah, how is your the thing going on at the
American Heart. It's still
American
going
Heart
on. Yeah,
Association? Yeah.
it's a very long campaign. This is actually midpoint week, and the theme for this week is asking everybody, Ramona, to take a pause and really consider how our heart and our mind and our bodies are connected, and to really take a minute to consider how that works, and how that stress is a big factor in our health. High stress tends to equal poor health, and lower stress seems to equal to better health. And I think our guest this evening has done some cardiovascular work in his studies, so I'm looking forward to his thoughts on cardiovascular health while we have him here this evening too. But thank you for asking. We're midway through, and the ask for this week is to take a minute, slow down, take a few deep breaths, and actually listen to your heart. So thank you for
I don't know
asking.
you want to talk about this or not, but you have some personal story in your family that cancer kind of thing. That's up to you. But cancer is a bitch. Really, it is a big problem.
You know what? You said a mouthful there. Yeah, I will share, because anytime that awareness can come of something horrible. So yes, in fact, it was just a couple days ago we we went through a year since I lost my brother, and my brother was 49 years old to undiagnosed colon cancer. So we found out, and 30 days later he was gone. It was really aggressive, and so I know our guest this evening also has done a lot of work in cancer work, all kinds of immunotherapies and all kinds of amazing precision therapies when it comes to cancer. So maybe if I would have known then what I know now, would it help? But ultimately, the more we talk about it, Ramona, and the more we talk about prevention and helping people with the fear. If I had a guess, I know my brother pretty well. I'm sure he was afraid. I don't think you can be that sick and not know it. But I think people are afraid when they're not well. And many people don't go get preventative measures because they're scared. And so we, as a collective, have to do better to get these testing and treatments to everybody, where it's cost effective, where it's an easy yes to get checked early. An easy yes. So thank you for asking.
It is. Sorry to hear that. It's a very young age. But when I was growing up in India, it's not that much of a. We never had a cancer that much. I had maybe one or two friends of mine, distant friends, some people that dying there. Just that is the only thing I heard about breast cancer. Is the one time I heard a lot of in India is a very different country. But our guest is going to know more about India than me. Anytime I left India when I was a kid, so let me introduce Nishant Mittal. He is joining from Mumbai, India. Let me let me introduce him a little bit. Um, Good evening, welcome. Let me introduce a little bit. I don't know what she. Okay,
Hello, hi, Dr. Ramana.
hi
Hi, Dr.
Nishant.
Suman. Yeah,
Let
hi.
me introduce you a little bit.
Sure.
Um, the tonight we are stepping into one of the most urgent healthcare challenges of our time: the cancer care in India. India sees more than 1.4 million new cases every year. Oh my God, that's a astonishing number. And access to advanced treatments like a CAR T cell therapy, gene-based medicine, and precision oncology remains limited and expensive. We're going to talk about that. The gap between the scientific possibility and the patient access is still very wide, but across India, a new generation of scientists and entrepreneurs like Nishant Mittal is trying to close that gap. One of the one of them is our guest is tonight is Nishant Mittal is a part of this emerging wave of scientific entrepreneurs pushing a cancer innovation forward despite resources kind of resource. He started a PhD in developmental biology and embryology. Oh my God, from Keio University in Japan, and completed his postdoctoral fellowship at the Dartmouth. Today, through the work in involving cancer facts and vector-based gene approaches, he is exploring how advanced therapies like a CAR T gene delivery system can become more accessible. Nishant, welcome. Now I read about you, so let me talk about a little bit about you. Let me ask you,
Thank you.
anything I
Yeah.
missed about you? That anything I did miss about you?
Uh, Not much. So I would like to state clearly that I'm a research scientist. Uh, I do not practice, first of all. So whatever will be my discussion, it would be purely based on the scientific approaches at present. Second thing is that we do not have our own research facility. So we currently are working as aggregator. We feel that we do not want to reinvent a wheel when it is already there. Bring those technology in India, make the progress faster, make it available to the patient as soon as possible rather than restarting the whole research scenario, doing the preclinical stuff, and then starting the clinical trial and all. So we are
Look,
at present in that way.
Nishant, I wanted to ask you. I am not that familiar with Indian cancer situations. It's a growing concern. Young people are getting more and more cancer in India, right? That's
Yes.
one of the concerns that it is a lifestyle. We don't know the cause. Or is there any extensive studies done in India? What are the causes, or what are the things that is causing this kind of a or detection? Is we are doing the detection more, or is it causing is it causing the lifestyle is causing more, or all of them together?
I think it's all of them together. If you see research articles all over the world, there's not even a single agent or single pinpoint factor that is affecting the emergence of the cancer more and more. Earlier, it was pollution, then it came as a microplastic that we are using in a daily to daily life. Now it came as a fertilizers which we are using in vegetables. So I think each and everything that we are doing in our daily activity may contribute towards the cancer, I would say.
Yeah.
Nothing is pure, clean, I would say. Second thing is that in India, what the projections are that one in every nine person will go through cancer at one point of time in next 10 years. So I would say that 10%, approximately 10% of the population will have some or other either detected or not detected early some form of the cancer. So
What
that is the
cancers are
scenario.
prevalent, Nisha? Nishan, what cancers are prevalent in India? I was growing up in Andhra Pradesh, India, so I used to see a lot of people smoking, a lot of smoking. Oh my God, cigarettes everywhere. You go to movie theaters, they're filled with the smoke. So, is that lung cancer is one of the leading causes of death in India?
It depends on region to region. If I talk about Andhra Pradesh, uh, s- uh, southern India, southern part of the India, more is gastric colon cancer.
Mm.
One paper suggested that there might be because people eat a lot of spicy food, so it may aggravate more of colon as well as the gastric deformities. So that is one part. If I
Mm.
come to the central India, like Madhya Pradesh, my state and all, yes, lung cancer is most prevalent. Uh, if I go to different part of the country has a different majority. Same thing is in, I think, in United States. If you go to New Hampshire, because of lot of groundwater asbestos, not asbestos, silica content,
Mm.
there is a different type of cancer. Pancreatic cancer is major there. So
Yeah.
I think it depends on region to region what type of cancer it is there. At present, a lot of people are getting blood cancer in India. It's
Mm.
increasing a lot.
Something I have to just add right here just quickly, because we know how diet, and it was really interesting too, because I've been on a Nishant, this is kind of a sidebar, but I've been on a mission for some Andhra chicken curry. And so now, thanks a lot. Because all that extra spicy curry, I've been really hunting it. So maybe I'll hold that on
No, no,
reserve.
it is not important one or two times. Like it's our in daily
Okay.
activity. Like every day we are having that.
Okay.
That is what
Okay.
the survey has shown. Still, there is no direct correlation. Nobody could establish that.
But
So
sticking with diet for just a moment, I saw something very interesting, specifically related to the United States, and I don't know if this would be reflected in India. But if you think back to the 50s in the United States, kids went to school, parents went to work, one way or the other, and the food in the home was food for meals. We didn't have
yeah,
there weren't food, there wasn't snacking food. We bought groceries and food stuffs for breakfast. Lunch was almost a snack, and dinner, no snack. If you look at the world now, all we do is snack. The packages are snacked, they're packaged in plastics, they're the chemicals, there's no single ingredient things in a refrigerator anymore outside of maybe milk or eggs. And then gosh knows if you
yeah.
want to follow that back to the pesticides and to what they're fed and how they're lived and la 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 la. But what a major difference we've had in just the last handful of years. I'm wondering, is similar, and I'm guessing probably in not only India, in Africa and Asia and low and middle income countries, the amount of snacking on top of just normal meal groceries has changed significantly. Would you agree?
Yeah, I have lived in United States for almost 4.5 years, so I have seen that snacking is the new culture there. Uh,
Yeah.
it's everywhere. It's not just in United States. It's everywhere. Like if you're watching a movie, you don't want to cook something, you just want to order a snack and just eat it. And you can imagine how much amount of preservative is kept inside to prevent, suppose, avocado toast.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'll add to that,
mm,
when we weren't snacking, we were kicked out of the house. Go play. Get
yeah.
out. So we
Yeah.
played until the lights went on outside. So we were out and we were moving every day, no snacking, out and moving. So I'm just saying that is a factor in that multi list that you started with early on. So lots of
There's another problem, right, Nishant? Is Indians eat there's a desk call centers. These people who are doing a call center sit down at home and then doing this, not moving too much, and they sit down on the computer all the times and don't do go outside. That is also causing some problem, right?
Yes. I mean, see, sitting at one place all the time, it causes stress. It's like if you're not moving a lot, you are stressing or you are decompressing your bone joints and all. So I think there's no single point. Stress also is one of the important factor for the cancer. That has, I think, it has been proven in some form or other form that if you have a lot of stress, it may lead to cancer or it may cause some cardiovascular disease also.
Frankly,
So
we didn't even have computers. We didn't even have computers. There wasn't computers in houses until how many years ago, you guys? Not 20?
not many, not 20. Yeah, not before 20 years. Yeah,
Not before 20 years. We didn't have cell phones and we didn't have
nothing.
computers. I
See, I'm
say
in
that now.
early.
I feel like a Fred Flintstone's family here, not like talking, but it's true.
See, I'm in early 40s now, and you can see the difference. Like 20, all our childhood has gone without phone and everything. But all of a sudden, this whole revolution of telephone, computer, AI now has come. It feels like we are already 20 years behind as our generation, because the kids who are in 20s, they are much more equipped, uh, much more resourceful uh, than us.
So
Let's dig into
let
some
me
of your really cool work. Oh, I'm sorry, Ramana. I
go
wanted to
ahead.
kind
Go
of
ahead.
talking about CAR T, and I just want to make sure our audience understands what that is. So
Yeah.
let's circle back to some of the super cool work because I'd love to talk about the CAR T as it's related to the work you're doing with cancer studies, but we're not getting out of here. You're not getting away tonight without talking about some of your cardiovascular, since that's my neck of the woods. I have some
Okay.
cardiovascular questions for you too, but let's start with the CAR T. What is it?
So it is basically so I will explain a little bit about the cancer treatment. Okay. Earlier it started with chemotherapy. In chemotherapy, you just kill all the dividing cells, not just the tumor. You kill all the dividing cells. It affects on the cell cycle of cells. So that is why when you take a strong chemotherapy, you would see that hairs are falling, nails are falling off, they are getting brittle, eyebrows are falling off. So everything is related. So the concept of chemotherapy was that since the tumor cells are dividing fast and your own cells, immune cells, as well as the stem cells in different parts of the body are also dividing. But if you kill the tumor and your own stem cells of different body can again come back easily. So you kill the tumor, and then once you leave the chemotherapy, you again regain all the cells. I mean, your all the cells, dividing cells, can regain the capacity or capability to again grow your hair. Nails have become better. So that was the first phase. But a lot of things have been seen that the chemotherapy is not as effective for the advanced treatment. So they went for the immunotherapies. In immunotherapy, you do not you how you augment your immune system to fight against the tumor. So CAR T cell therapy is also a type of immunotherapy, where you extract a patient T cells, modify the T cells uh, against a tumor antigen. So every tumor is very specific, right? And each type of tumor will express certain kind of antigens. Now, the trick is how you migrate your tumor cells, or you direct your immune cells towards the tumor so that the tumor cells can be killed. In a basic language, I'm talking about. So
So like
each,
precision, you're trying to get it right
yeah,
to the tumor, not kill
right to the
everything,
tumor,
not kill every
not
fast
kill
moving
everything.
cell,
Yeah,
just that darn tumor.
yeah.
Okay.
So every tumor will have a very specific antigen. For example, at present, for the solid tumor, there is one Claudin 18.2 CAR-T that is making a lot of voices, like creating a lot of knowledge around it
Antigen is a marker on the cancer cell, right? It's
on
a
the
special
surface of the
marker.
cancer cells.
It is just antigen is a marker on the cancer cell. Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So they have seen that the Claudin 18.2 is expressed. Now, if we can direct T cells toward the Claudin 18 point, these Claudin 18.2 positive cells, the rest of the immune cells will follow them and will get all these cancer cells killed, or maybe the cells can undergo apoptosis. Okay, now
Mm.
what is the trick? So you take the patient own T cells. T cells are the first barrier. They are the first army towards the any kind of infection or inflammation. So you take the patient T cells, you attach a receptor against the antigen that is present in the cells. Is basically it's a lock and key theory.
Like
Okay.
GPS. You're like
Yeah,
GPS. You're like sending it to the
sending it.
exact spot.
Yeah. So you modify your the patient T cells and then you grow them in the number of millions.
Oh,
For example, they are giving around 2 million cells per kg of the body weight to the patient, infusing it. So
oh
suppose
wow.
you have they have extracted only 1 million cells and they are making around they are dividing the cells into 20 times and then they are
Yeah,
infusing the patient. Yeah.
that is a very kind of mystery, right? In a sense that when they see the antigen, that's a marker of the cancer cell. T cells see that and then divide in not in thousands, millions, just to accelerate by itself, dividing itself to protect the go against the cancer. That's kind of a
Uh,
strange mystery in that sense, right?
no, I think we are. It is not something like that. T cells do not divide. We in the lab we grow
Yeah,
them.
this was
Yeah.
yeah.
So it is not
I
that
thought
once we
I
inject in the
thought
body.
T cells produce other T cells that's
No,
with the
it
same marker.
happens. It
Yeah. Okay.
happens. T cells, once it is inserted in the body, the T cells are also dividing. These
Yeah,
CAR
that's
T
what I'm
cells will
asking.
also divide. That is why
But
we see the elevation.
Yeah.
and didn't you say that like once you send the CAR T cells with their GPS to that others follow, the natural T cells will
Mm.
follow if the CAR T sets the route and identifies the target, does the
Yeah.
body's
Okay,
other
let me
T cells
let me
join
explain a
in?
little bit. Let me
Okay,
explain
okay,
up here.
okay.
So once the T cells are developed, which has a receptor against a particular tumor cells, they are grown in the lab in number of multi-millions, and then as per the body weight, they are infused into the patient. Okay, before infusing into the patient, one thing is very important that your own body produces the resident T cells. Okay,
Okay.
now we have to suppress those. So
Oh,
otherwise, there will be a lot of competition within the body,
Ah,
and the
interesting.
foreign T. Now these are called as foreign T cells, right? Because they have been
yes.
modified. So these T cells may not be able to proliferate that much. So
I was
which
gonna
is
say, so
why,
how do they get in without being discovered and wrecked and
yeah,
ruined before they get there?
yeah. So that is why your own T cells has to be suppressed down. So patient before infusing the CAR T cells, patients are given strong dose of chemotherapy to suppress the immune system and to suppress the uh, own T cell proliferation. Okay, now CAR T cells are infused. Now you have to imagine CAR T cells are infused. These CAR T cells will go and start binding towards the tumor. Okay, an immune response will start. The foreign CAR T cells, I would say, the foreign T cells, I would say, they will keep on dividing because they are in the body now. They are in a favorable condition, their own known condition. They will keep dividing. But during that time also, once the chemo effect of chemotherapy stops, your own T cells, non-modified T cells, will also shoot up. Okay, that is why you see that initially the CAR T cells go up in the number, and the T cells, the resident T cells are here. They are also slowing growing up, and slowly your own the CAR T cells goes down, and this reaches here. So, which is why we see that around 2 weeks of time,
Mm.
the CAR T cell number goes down. There are multiple ways now. They are inducing these CAR T cells to proliferate more for even longer duration. They are supplementing it with different type of immunotherapies now,
Ah, so that's the goal is to get them to stay in there longer, to keep working
as
longer,
long as
depending on
possible.
the stage
Yeah.
of cancer and the type of cancer that the
Yes.
longer they need to work, we want them in there longer to work longer and harder.
Yes.
Nishant,
Brilliant.
but you said something interesting. You are suppressing immune system in the beginning, the original resident T cells. When you suppress that, it's a body could attract a lot of infections, right? It is you're
Yes.
very vulnerable to the infections. So how do you protect that process?
Patients are kept on isolation ward during that time.
Yeah,
Patients are admitted maybe I think 1 week before the planned infusion.
yeah,
Patients are
yeah.
called back to the hospital. They are kept in isolation. They are
Mm.
given multiple 2 to 3 doses of chemotherapy. During that time, they are monitored a lot. If they catch any infection, they are first given antibiotics, and once the infection rate goes down, then only they will infuse the CAR T cells. So I would say that it is not a very just injection and the patient is cured. There's a lot more goes on post CAR T management also.
Are CAR T cell therapies the same or similar to vaccines, to tumor vaccines? Is this similar to a tumor
No,
vaccine?
no, it is not.
Similar at all.
It's they're totally different approach.
Yeah. Uh, I'm not, but let me ask you a question, Nishant. You know that CAR T cells are engineered cells, right? You're engineering the cells. Is a purely information system. We are producing a new information system there. It is a novel therapy, but in India, what are the challenges of you're only can treat? How do you produce the CAR T cell therapy? Where do you get that from? You need a huge equipment infrastructure, or
Yeah,
where do you get it?
it's a proper GMP compliant lab that is required for making CAR T cells.
With a
There's
huge
highly,
infrastructure
yeah.
requirement?
Uh, so see, there are two ways to produce CAR T. One is centralized way and one is decentralized way. If I talk about a lot of research institutes in United States, they are in decentralized way. Means there's not a single company that is making the CAR T and supplying it to all the hospitals. You can understand that centralized means there's a one base and
Yeah.
all the samples are coming there, being modified and sent back. In India, at present, that is the situation. Earlier in United States, if I talk about around 5 years back, 6 years back, that was the situation. But now every hospital thinks that if we can get the reagents which are required to modify the cells within the hospital and create a small unit, suppose 1,000 square feet area of GMP compliant lab, then it is much easier for a patient to come to the same hospital, get the T cell extracted, the cells being modified then and there, and being infused within 2 weeks. So it reduces your uh, time of travel. Also, logistic issue due to logistic issues, sometimes the cells get damaged while transporting, right? So that also can reduce. It reduces the cost. Maybe the initial cost is high. If the hospital can bear the installation cost, then the rest of the cost goes down. Uh, it leads lot of ease of pressure on the main company who was making CAR T cells, because now they have to make the reagents. For example, CAR T vector now, because all the smaller units in a decentralized way, they are doing the CAR T production. So I feel that once a pharma company has finished the clinical trial and they have shown that their CAR T is effective, I feel that their job should be stopped at that point of time. They should more concentrate on how the CAR T reagents can be transported to all those smaller units across the country and help them to produce these CAR T in the smaller
Susan,
units.
Susan, I want to tell you about this. This is beyond my head. Also, it is the engineering. It's a more of an engineering complexity there. The CAR T cells are more of engineering and physics, or mathematics, something engineering and information IT technology rather than medicine. So we could go, me and you, may be a little bit of a different thinking in this direction, but yeah, let me bring back Susan's point is cardiology. What did you do in cardiology side of it? What did you do in the cardiac side? She is very passionate about it.
It was a basic research. When I was doing my PhD, I joined a very good lab in Keio University. Dr. Keiichi Fukuda and Dr. Shinji Makino. They are very capable people. So I joined his lab for PhD, and they were working on cardiac regeneration. So I was using fish model, zebra fish, and the Medaka fish model. We know that zebrafish has the capability to regenerate their heart.
Wait,
Really?
everybody
Yeah,
stop and listen to that again. This is why I was saying you're not going to get out of here without this information. Ramana, zebrafish can regenerate their heart. It's
Oh my God.
like
I didn't know
20%
that.
of their heart can be gone and they can come back in just weeks.
Oh my
so
God.
we used to
Interesting.
surgically operate. We used to open the chest of the fish, take the heart, pinch the heart out, and cut almost 25 to 50% of the heart. The only thing we have to prevent that fish should have a clot before we put back the heart
Uh-huh.
into their chest. Okay, so we use
Amazing.
tissue paper to like a cold water tissue paper so that the clot can be formed, and we put uh, the heart back into the chest, and we
How
don't
big
have
is the fish is? Is it small or how big is the fish?
very small, 2 to 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter
Yeah,
Oh,
maximum.
really?
it gets
Yeah.
even better. It gets even better. And then they used, Ramana, quantum dot tracking, right?
Interesting.
Nishant,
Yes.
quantum dot tracking, so that they
Oh
could
my God.
watch the cells start growing, move to the missing area and start regenerating. They could follow. I might be making this up, Nishant, but they could watch the cells move, migrate, heal, reproduce, replicate,
Yeah.
all these things. It's an amazing study.
What amazing! That's very interesting. I didn't know that. You're interesting. Some species can produce a heart, regenerate
And
heart.
it is not just a scar formation, it's a complete regeneration. It's like a
Mm,
completely new heart.
new heart. Oh my God!
Yeah, there
It
is
is a
no sign
fantastic.
of scar formation anywhere in the body,
Okay,
anywhere in the
so we're
heart.
not seeing that in humans yet.
Uh,
Yet.
there are multiple things that. So I'm of just a sand particle in the mountain that we are working on. So there are multiple research collaborations that are happening currently to find why it is regenerating in fish, and why is it not regenerating in the uh, mammals. So it's a big discussion at present. People are working. Apart from that, my lab was working on iPSCs. iPSCs derived cardiomyocytes and then create a sheet pattern or embroid-like structure and implant it in a heart failure patient. So I would say that there's a company called as Heart Seed, Heart Heart
It's like a
Seed,
stem cell.
SEED. Yeah, so
Is
it's based on the iPSCs, induced pluripotent stem cells. First they take the skin of the patient, skin graft. From
Can you
that
move a
they
little bit, Nishant? You need to move to the
okay,
center. Okay, good.
okay, is that fine? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they take the skin from the skin, they de-differentiate the skin cells into induced pluripotent stem cells.
Hmm.
Once
Interesting.
they de-differentiate, they then differentiate back to the cardiac cells. Okay, it's like a two-way differentiation. They differentiate into cardiac cells, and they're trying to implant it into the patient, those differentiated cardiac cells. Now, one very important thing was that once you have a stem cell and you want to differentiate into a single lineage, it is not very uh, successful. You will always have some kind of non-directed differentiation towards the neural cells, towards the other type of differentiation. So most important thing for iPSCs derived any kind of cells, mature cells, is the purification.
Mm.
How you can purify these de-differentiated cells to 100% or near 100% in a single lineage. So that was done in Dr. Keiichi lab, and they could able to create a model where they can purify the cardiac cells differentiated from the skin cells to a 99.4% purity. And
It's
now
Truly
they
crazy.
are,
amazing.
It's
and at present
amazing.
they are doing clinical trial. They are creating these stem cells, cardiac stem cells. They are making it in a ball-like structure, which is called an embryoid body, and then they are transplanting it into the patient, like old patient who does not have any, who does not stand a chance of heart transplant. And till now they have done 3 patient, and all are doing fine. And I think sooner it will happen, it will start in United States too, from that company.
Where, Nishant, where do you
Out.
see go ahead, Susan. AI
No.
fits into this whole picture.
Yeah.
Artificial
AI,
intelligence puts in.
uh, I'm not well versed with AI at present, but
Yeah.
it's a two-way sword. That's all I can say. That uh,
I'm good. I'm going
suppose,
to talk about AI. Then you can
yeah,
come back and talk about India's system, and where the India is lacking in the fundamental research. What are the resources required? How do you think India can progress in this cancer therapies? And people like you doing an amazing job. That is. But I'm learning both from both of you about the heart. I didn't know that much, so much regeneration you're doing in the cancer side and the engineering side of the cancer and the regeneration of the hot side is amazing things what you're doing. Let me present you a topic on the AI a little bit. After
sure,
that, Susan and you can talk together in the more medical side. Let me present
sure,
the now you can bring that. Yeah, that's good. Let me bring you on the side, and then I'm going to talk about AI. It's a very interesting. What are the AI black boxes? I'm going to talk about that. Both of you can join anytime and ask me any questions here. Let me introduce you. There is a black box is a very serious problem in healthcare. A lot of people didn't know that AI is a structural problem, not a technical problem. People think it's a technical problem. It's not. It is a structural means you cannot get rid of it. That's what it is. Structural is you don't have access. So there is a four type different kind of boxes there. Unfortunately, the language itself is limited in the AI. When it in software engineers developed the AI, it is Navya, can you turn off your mute? Can you put mute some noise coming? So so that there's a four type of boxes. Technical box is the one that can be fixable. You can with the I'm going to show you how that can be fixable, and the feature that is not a problem. Structural problem, we cannot solve it. Computational reducibility is another problem. On the top of it, both of the all these problems multiply together. That's emergent plus. That is, I designed that aspect of the emergent plus behavior. These are the black boxes embedded in the artificial intelligence. Then I'm going to talk about one by one a little bit. So technical. Let me talk about a little bit of technical thing. Black box number one, the system is complex. For example, but understandable with the engineering tools. You can, with the time and the knowledge, we can solve the problem. One of the problem in the beginning days is recognizing the imaging processing. So that was a big problem actually in the beginning. That was a black box for a lot of times. But engineers and software engineers solved that problem. The problem through layers, edges, and then they came back with a very new mechanism of finding the detecting a cat, for example. If there is a cat there, how do you find the cat? So how the computer can tell it is a cat? So that's very difficult actually. So what they found out is they found a system, wonderful system. They found a technology. They found it in the artificial AI, wonderful advance in AI that actually led to the cancer detection. In fact, it can detect. So that is where the detecting the cat is the same as almost the same technology they use for the detecting cancers, lung cancer, for example. What still is a puzzling and there's still a long way to go, but it is solvable. One of the problems is that the location of the tumor, still AI is having a problem. The mapping algorithms are coming in. They're taking time a little bit, but it's going to solve this problem. So technical problems are solvable. It may take some time, but the cancer is improving day by day. So it's an amazing advances going on in the AI in that direction. So, but the other, this is a black box number two. Inputs are known, outputs are known, but you don't know what is the inner workings of inside of it. Like you don't know what is going on inside. For example, you can visualize your mother-in-law or your grandmother in the brain, but if you open the brain, you cannot see the picture of your grandmother. The reason is that you cannot see because that is a structural problem. We don't know where that came from. It is input we know, output we know. The protein folding is actually the alpha fold. The Google got the Nobel Prize for all those guys. They got this Nobel Prize for the protein folding. They don't know how it came out, but they came out a generalized formula. AI kicked out a formula. That is a little concern to the doctors because they don't know the inner workings. They have this problem of inner working knowledge is a big problem there. So they don't know the mechanisms how we derived that kind of a protein folding generalized formula. So it is a very revolutionary idea that came out through AI, but we don't know there's a black box there that is not solvable. You cannot reach. You cannot. There is no way you can. There's a structural limitations you have, so you cannot solve that. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, okay, that's
Yeah.
something is black box number two. It
Number
is
three.
a three. Black box number two. That's let me talk about the. Black box number two is in black box number three. I'm going to talk about it. This is three or two. I cannot see it.
We just did two. Move to three.
The more to three. Okay, thank you.
There we go.
Okay, block box number three is the uncertain. So you don't know the we cannot fully predict the results until computation is done. Irreducible computational complexity. That means you cannot predict until computation. Only after the computation simulation is done, you can predict the cancer or can, for example, hospital infection rate, how the hospital spreads infection. You cannot predict in advance. There is a limit, structural limit. There is no way you can predict because the structural problem there, because that is unknown for us. The complexity is too big, and then hospital infection spreading is one of the black boxes. We cannot solve it. There is no way by improving the technology you cannot solve it. This is the hospital infection spread is the prime example of that one. Actually, COVID-19 is another example. You cannot predict where the COVID went on. India, it moved from different places to rapidly in Delhi, and then it killed a lot of people in particular areas. But that is we cannot predict. That is a black box itself. It is a structural limitations on the is not a better tools or is not a better knowledge will not solve the problem. That is a structural black box. You cannot reach that the exact way how it spreads. So that is the last black box number four is the combination of all three. All three is that the last two of them is more important. Did I move to the black box number four? I can't see it.
Yes, we're
Susan?
on four. We're on four.
Yeah.
The black box number four is the emergent plus. It is not, you don't know the input, you know the input, you don't know the output, you don't know the inner workings, but you don't know the output until it computes. It's both a double whammy. You don't know the inner workings. You don't know until it computes complete completion of the computation. You will not know the final result. So it's a double whammy. That is one of the things. That's what they said. Here is a physician intuition comes in the picture. When they see, Susan can tell me about this. When they see somebody is going in a septic shock, for example, physician he can tell, hey, this patient is going to go septic shock, or nurses can detect that. Their intuition is not by, you cannot detect from his brain, from the vital signs, from everything that all the data, you cannot detect that he's going to the septic shock. It is a pure intuition. It is something mysterious in that sense. Emergent plus is. So that is a still, you need a physician to judgment on the final thing. That is emergent plus is a complexity, reducible complexity of a computational complexity plus inner workings are not known. That's a both combined them is called emergent plus, that I coined as an emergent plus is an emergence. It is you don't know, it evolves with the time. So we do not know. That is a kind of a concern, because bioterrorism and all the other things, some of the viruses can come back, good and bad. It is a very powerful tool. So we need to watch out the black boxes a little bit more. So this is the so yeah, I can five risk of AI. I can tell you, one is the bias itself. There is inherent bias in the system itself. There is a if the data is inherently biased, it just feeds the bias itself. So AI doesn't know there is a bias there. Then can you read the second one? I cannot read much here. I have a
False
small
confidence. False confidence.
false confidence. This is a actually last month a new piece of paper came out in the Nature magazine. It is called false confidence. AI can deceive, can give you a noise. It detects. It is a shifting. It is a, they call it as a interpretation drift. It is called. It's a Nature magazine is a very prestigious magazine published last month itself. AI can give you a false confidence. It is it is a very, it got to be watch out. That's why we need the doctors. It can give a, on the cases of edge cases, that they can give a false confidence and give a wrong treatment and all those things. So you got to be very careful about the AI. Just you cannot slap in everywhere that you can get it. So what is the third one? What is the third one,
Hid-
Susan?
hidden failure modes.
Hidden failure mode. That is a uh, hidden failure mode is that's the same thing as the data noises. Data noise amplified the data noises. That is a it hides the reasonings sometimes from the top. So the reasoning is actually not related to the final judgment of the reasoning. So I think the noise can somehow take over place. That's a hidden failure of the reasoning itself, and the hidden. So that is, you got to be very careful. The last one
Lack
is accountability, right?
lack of explainability and accountability gap are the
Yeah,
last two.
really good. This is the little bit of who is going to be responsible. There is a black box itself. Is a doctor is responsible? Is a hospital is responsible? AI, the company who produced the AI is responsible, or software engineer is developer responsible? That's a black box itself.
Yeah.
And then the lawyers have the problem, because they're asking, demanding patent. What do you patent? You don't know what is inside. How can you patent something that you don't know? So that is a late patent laws coming in the picture now. That is a so I think the where you cannot replace the clinical staff like doctors and people like Susan cannot be replaced, because it is a final judgment is at their mercy, and then we need to have them, because we have a long way. There is a structural problems there in AI that you cannot just randomly just put in and then make it work. So there is a lot of structural AI. That doesn't mean AI is very powerful. AI can do wonderful algorithms. It can help you, but blindly saying that just blindly believe it, AI can replace doctors is a nonsense talk in my view. It can replace clinical staff. That judgment is a long way from that judgment. So in my view, so we have actually, you cannot, responsibility cannot be outsourced to a machine. Responsibility does not move out of the same speed as the AI technology. So we need to be very careful about the responsibilities of here, and the doctor and clinical staff are more responsible, and then we need to give them. So this is a AI fail set. Where are the structural mystery? That is the AI fails at. Where the AI's gaps are? Structural mystery. That black box I was talking about, structural thing, is a computational complexity. Because computations are so complex sometimes. You cannot, until you finish the computation, you cannot tell the result. Must compute, must output, and must optimize. It is only looking for three things: compute, output, optimize. That's all the AI is looking for. It doesn't look for safety and other things. If you want to look at the patient safety, you have to depend on the clinicians. Pause. They can contextualize all the background, refuse some treatments. It's not, if you are 95 years old, you don't want to put them in the surgery. Even the AI suggests you. So care, and then take responsibility. That is the clinicians play a significant role in this direction. Thank you for watching. That's why MedBricks Predictor, I create a platform that can tell you that it is AI can implement it, whether with the care capacity. When you implement the AI, whether you're going to improve the quantify, you can improve the care capacity, or you're going to increase the care or decrease the care. So increase the noise. AI can, if you're not careful, AI can increase the noise quite a bit if you're not careful. But it can be very powerful also. It can help you. So that is I created some measurement index, healing index, and care per joule, energy of the system. I put into the system. You can do these kind of things. Then my system will predict this kind of thing. It's a self promotion here a little bit. Thank you for watching. And let me bring my guests back, and they can comment on a little bit more about these things. Thank you.
I feel like what came to mind for me, Romana, was, and thank you for that very much. You always really enlighten us on the case of AI. I feel like there's an old saying that says, "Fools rush in where angels fear to tread,"
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think we should perhaps consider that. And I also found it very refreshing, Nishant, that your first response when we asked about AI in your particular world, you said, basically it's not your hottest topic right now. And that was like the most refreshing thing that a scientist can say to me right now. And I'll wrap this quickly up by saying we're getting extremely lazy, and people are not going back and checking the work. I've seen it just pervasively on the smallest matter. And when it's not caught at the smallest level, one sentence, one PDF made by a chat situation, and modules were made from the mistakenly computer-made PDF. And now, can you imagine an entire novel, an entire book, a text? The vector changed on the whole project based on that one, no one checked, small little piece. And here we go. And now generations are reading it and thinking that's the thing. So,
Nishant, I'm
AI.
getting it. Nishant, I'm getting
Sure.
tomorrow a very impressive guest, Nobel laureate, Katalin Cario. She's from Hungary. She invented she is the mother of all vaccines, the COVID
Vaccines,
vaccine.
yes.
So she is coming on the show. So what do you think of what is the new things in our field? It can go like mRNA messenger vaccine, combine them together with your immunotherapy and all those things. You think it's going to be the future of the game? And what is you said that only one kind of cancer you treat, the rest of them you send it to China. Tell me a little bit about that. Is we are interested in knowing what's going on in
Um,
India.
so at present, first of all, about the AI, I would say that, most important that in AI, whatever the data that you feed, the results come out of that, right? So either we feed all the data that are available with all the hospitals combinedly all over the world, then only I would say that it may be able to predict something and give multiple options, which can help clinicians to think in the multiple aspect way. Because that is also one thing that a single clinician think in a single manner. Okay, if you go to a different doctor, they will prescribe something else. If you go to a third doctor, they will prescribe something else. There's very, very less probability that all the doctors are referring to the same kind of treatment, uh, be a single type of chemotherapy or be the immunotherapy name, different thing. So in that way, I think AI can help if there are a lot of data and if it can predict. Suppose there is a single case that has been treated in Turkey or maybe United States. Similar case has been treated completely in those countries. And if a patient in India is searching about his own physiology or uh, is if he is analyzing his own report, so what we generally do is that we feed all the data or we feed all the reports to AI, and we ask that please summarize it and provide us the basic treatment options, right? Now, if in that case AI could pull out that data from those countries where the similar case has been treated completely, and if the patient or their family can read it, and then once they go to their physician and question about it, or at least bring out that paper article that, okay, this is the case, it is very similar to my case, and there they have used these approach and they have treated the patient. At
Yeah, data,
point.
I'm not sure about that one, Nishant, because data alone cannot solve. The reasoning has to be there, right? The reasoning is still
Mhm.
be about the black boxes there in the reasoning side. But let me ask you, so what are the
I fully
things that
understand. Let me finish. I fully understand reasoning is there, but at present, I feel that the patient also needs to learn and speak. They should stop following whatever is being going on, especially in developing countries. May not be in developed country because lot of regulations, lot of tight regulations are there, and insurance is above them. So insurance also keeps check that whether they are following the proper guidelines for the treatment or not. But in developing countries, it is not that case, not too much that case. So I feel that if AI can equip patient at least to get some detailed information about his own health, as well as the previous cases where something has been undergoing in the treatment and all, at least now they are questioning to the clinician, asking the reason at least,
yes,
why are you
agree.
giving me this, what is
Expand
the
the
use
knowledge.
of it?
Yeah.
So
I
I
love
feel
that.
that
I love that. If we could educate
that
them to
creates.
do just that first step, step
Yeah.
one, investigate. Step two,
Mm.
summarize. Step three, bring it to the
Mm.
reasoning person, the reasoning
Mm.
physician, the reasoning
Yeah.
practice.
Correct. Well,
It
well
is
said.
perfectly fine if the clinician says no, but at least
Mm.
clinician will give some reason that why it is not applied to him or her
Correct.
about it. So
Yeah.
I love
I feel
that.
that it is providing that knowledge. The only thing is that sometimes we have seen some cases where patients are using AI for the treatment, their own treatment, because in
Yeah.
developing countries, the drugs are available off the shelf. Like you go to the pharmacy store, you can
Yeah,
get
in
it,
India, you can buy, you can go and get
you can
anything
buy that,
anywhere.
right?
Step
So
three, bring it to the provider. Step three, do
yeah,
not skip. Refer to step one and two. Don't skip three.
Nishanta,
exactly.
let me ask you, what do you think in India is the progress of this immunotherapy progress? Your vector delivery system is also you're developing, you're part of the vector gene delivery system, right?
Yes,
Tell us
yeah.
a little about the delivery part of it a little bit, if you don't mind. I want to learn a little bit about the delivery systems going on and the new thing.
Okay, so at present in India, there are two companies that have approved CAR-T, CD19 CAR-T, ImmunoAct and Immunil. They are doing really good. Now they are expanding outside India also to provide CAR-T cell therapies in African countries, in Middle Eastern countries, because in many of these countries, affordability is the issue. If I talk about the CAR T cells that are available in the United States, it costs around $450,000 for the
Oh,
whole care. And the same CAR T cell therapy in India, it costs around 35,000, 35 to $40,000. So it's almost one tenth of the cost. So yes, that is there. In terms of efficacy wise, they are almost comparable. In short term duration, like 2 3 years duration, they are almost comparable to it. The only drawback is in India, the clinical trials are very less. Uh, we only have CD19. We do not have any other marker for that. And for different type of cancer, we have for leukemia, but in leukemia also, there are multiple markers like CD20, CD22. If the patient relapses, they cannot rely on CD19 alone.
But
Many a
CD19 is the
times,
most popular, most common one, right?
most common one for leukemia. Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
BLL, B cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Leukemia, it is most common at present, but the data are now changing towards the dual CAR T. Use two types of antigen receptor together in a single T cells, so that
woo!
there is no antigen escape
So
for
that's
the
the
future.
race
So
car version. That's the race
yeah,
car version.
race car. Yeah. So later on, it is coming triple CAR Ts. Now coming to the point about the India's
How much
progress
is that
at
going to
present.
cost? Nishant, how much
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that going to cost? I mean, if we're talking
Uh,
450 for a single CAR
no,
T,
no,
now
no.
we
It
got
is.
double and triple. Is that going to be
Uh, it depends on the pharma company
okay? Okay.
how they advertise it, how they promote
Okay.
it, but uh, it will not cost that difference. There will
Okay.
not be much difference. It may be around 10,000, 15,000. Scientifically,
Okay.
if I say that just we need to, the whole process is exactly same, except one extra vector needs to be added, or the plasmid has to be made where we have two receptor in a single domain, in a
What
single
is a
area.
vector? Can you explain a vector? Vector gene is a delivery system, right? You explained to us that a little bit.
So
li- li-
Vector Gene Biotech is a company name.
Okay.
I would say that, okay, how can I explain? Just give me a pause. I just,
It's
I
okay.
Is a
want to
delivery
make it
is a
simplified.
delivery
Yeah.
system? Is a delivery system?
So I told you about how the CAR T cells are made, right? But
Yeah.
I did not tell you about how in the lab these T cells acquire the receptor. Okay, it's a whole
Mm.
laboratory part.
Okay.
Once the T cells goes into the lab, okay, T cells are purified and they are induced. Once they are induced to proliferate, okay, after that we add vector, lentiviral vector,
Oh.
okay, into the cells so that lentiviral vector can has the capacity to ligate the DNA part which is required
Oh.
to make that receptor into the cells.
Very
Awesome.
good.
Okay, so that
Impressive.
is a vector is a kind of vehicle. How so you you know that native T cells do not have a receptor specific for tumor, right? How do you bring it? So this is a cell. Okay, this is a vector. You have to bring it towards the nucleus. Now
Mm.
it needs a vehicle to move, and the viral vectors are the best vehicle to bring those DNA material towards the nucleus. I'm telling you in a very, very, very layman language.
No, it's
So there might
perfect.
be
It's
a
perfect.
No, no, no.
lot of
That is a very
ambiguities.
interesting. I didn't know
And,
that. Yeah, I'm
well,
learning from you. Yeah.
it's wonderful
Yeah.
because it really is a great precursor to our conversation tomorrow night, which is about messenger RNA, which is, I know I asked earlier tumor vaccines, but the point was, is I was thinking about this vector, this way, how do we move things to where we want them to move in the body, where it works, where it creates what you want it to create, gets to where you want it to get without being invaded by the body itself. So they're all similar in my mind, but I don't have your scientist mind. And I appreciate the simplicity of your description because you took us right there visually. You took us
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
You
Vector is
explained very
nothing,
well.
just a vehicle for any foreign DNA to move inside your own cell or nucleus.
Yeah.
That's it. Uh,
It's a
Awesome.
so
very. That's what she did.
yeah,
Was the tomorrow Catalin, that how she suppresses that immune system response fasting. It can go into the cell itself. It's an amazing all of you, what are you doing as a cutting edge research? What do you see 10 years from now? You personally, what is your goals in India, Nishant?
See, so coming to the topic about the what we do at present. So, if I see across the world, there are a lot of experiments, there are a lot of research are going on related to CAR T cell therapies. Not just the CD19, there are like tons of different type of CAR vectors that are being developed. Uh, Maybe it may be for solid tumor, it may be for liquid tumor. For example, for liquid tumor, there are almost 7 different types of vectors that are being developed.
Wow.
CD19, CD20, CD22, BCMA, GPRC5D, uh, CD70 is there, CD5, CD7 is there, CLL1 is there. So there are multiple, and they are under clinical trials, and some are showing good efficacy, some are not. So companies are evolving accordingly that. In terms of the solid tumor, uh, there are still again a lot of CAR-Ts that are coming up. For example, Claudin 18.2 for gastric cancer, HER2 for breast cancer is coming, uh, GD2 for neuroblastoma children, like
Wow.
7-year, 8-year-old children who has neuroblastoma. GD2 CAR-T is doing really good, and
Yeah.
it is showing very good efficacy. The only thing is that patient needs to be under maintenance post CAR-T for long time, but that is something even if we do chemo or immunotherapy for brain tumors, there's very less chance of survival for long-term survival. So there are a lot of different type of CAR-Ts that are coming up. So my role or our role in as a company is to investigate and find the best CAR vectors that are being developed. Now, India cannot afford United States cost. We have to be very honest. If a company has developed a car vector in United States, it may cost billions of dollars to bring the technology in India, and then you can understand the cost. If a startup company in India invest billions or maybe multi-million dollar just bringing the car and then start producing it in India, the cost of the treatment will go high because the investors will need their money to pull back, right? They need return on that investment within 4 to 5 to 10 years at least. So invest in India, the culture at present is about not not too much of innovation, but it is more about the production. If any drug is undergoing is going out of patent in the next 2 years, you will see a lot of Indian companies that have developed biosimilar products. And
Mm.
that is how India is bringing the cost of those immunotherapies or chemotherapies at very low cost, bringing the cost down, actually. So India is helping a lot in bringing these drug, costly drugs, the cost bring down. The only thing is that we have to wait till they lose the patent,
So
like
I want to
within
say
10 years.
right off the bat that is just super gross that we have to wait for finances to balance out in order to get what we know will work to people who need it. So I can
Yeah,
tell you I'm about to be extremely wealthy because I just know it, and I'm going to give you. I will buy everything that everyone over here in the States has, and I'm going to give it to you and your science team so that you can take these vectors and you can work with bazillions of people and make them better. It's a promise.
thank you.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
I have one.
Nishant, Nishant, you're absolutely doing a great work and amazing work you're doing. India blessed to have people like you. We need a fundamental research there. It used to be very good in fundamental research. Now we mistakenly moved into the production side, the cycle side. So we need to be a
Yeah.
little bit more fundamental research people like you to be supported. And India is a blessed to have people like you. I learned quite a bit from you today. Thank you
Oh my
so
God.
much. Thank you for joining
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
good
you so
night,
much.
all of
I have
you.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it.